tax backtrack. The IRS is now taking back guidance it sent out just a few days ago.
The IRS, in an unusual move, is urging millions of Americans to hold off on filing their tax returns for now.
Their taxes.
The IRS says confusion over some tax refunds means Georgia taxpayers.
If you're about to file your tax return, you need to wait. The IRS.
2 weeks into tax season, the IRS is now suggesting you wait to file your tax return.
Are you ready for the wildest tax season yet? Brace yourself, because the IRS has just dropped a bombshell. They're urging taxpayers not to file their tax returns. It sounds crazy, but there's a method to their madness. So, why are they telling you to hold off on your taxes? Here's the shocking truth. In the year 2023, the IRS has an urgent message for taxpayers regarding the filing of their taxes. If you're among the over 16 million taxpayers in California, you might want to hold off on filing your taxes for 2023. Why, you asked? Well, it turns out that the agency needs more time to wrap its head around the state-level rebates and stimulus checks that you may have received last year. In 2022, dozens of states across the country issued these payments in response to skyrocketing inflation, which had hit a 40-year high. But now, the IRS is saying that they need to determine which of these payments are federally taxable before they can give you the green light to file your taxes. As we approach tax season, it's important to stay informed about any updates or changes that may affect your filing process. In this video, we will cover the latest information from the IRS, including what you need to know to avoid penalties, maximize your refunds, and make the most of your tax return. So, if you want to stay on top of your taxes and ensure a smooth filing process, then keep watching. For taxpayers uncertain about the taxability of their state payments, the IRS recommends they wait until additional guidance is available, or consult with a reputable tax professional, the agency said. For taxpayers and tax preparers with questions, the best course of action is to wait for additional clarification on state payments rather than calling the IRS. The recently issued urgent message by the IRS is advising taxpayers to hold off on filing their returns until further guidance is provided regarding state-issued inflation payments. In 2022, dozens of state-distributed stimulus-like payments or tax rebates to their residents in response to the unprecedented levels of inflation that were experienced throughout the year. However, the IRS has stated that it needs more time to determine which of these payments are federally taxable. This means that taxpayers need to wait until the rules and regulations are finalized before submitting their returns to avoid any potential errors or penalties. One of the main complications that the IRS is facing is the sheer number of different stimulus checks and rebates that were distributed at different levels. There were hundreds of different payments distributed by various entities such as the federal government, state governments, cities, and counties. Each of these payments may be subject to different rules and regulations, making it challenging for taxpayers to accurately file their taxes. The IRS has also attributed the delay in the tax season start to several factors, including the need for additional time to update and test their systems, the delay in passing tax legislation by Congress, and the ongoing impact of the 2020 disruptions. The IRS is working to ensure that taxpayers file their taxes correctly and accurately to avoid any issues down the line. The agency has emphasized the importance of waiting until further guidance is provided to prevent any potential errors or delays in processing tax returns. By waiting for guidance from the IRS, taxpayers can ensure that they are fully compliant with federal regulations and avoid any potential issues or penalties. It appears that once again, the American people are at risk of being dealt a bad hand, and this time it's when it comes to filing their taxes. The issue is that there have been numerous stimulus checks distributed at different levels throughout the nation, not just at the federal level, but also from states, cities, and counties. This has resulted in a rather complex situation where different types of checks may be subject to different rules and regulations, which can leave taxpayers feeling unsure and confused. If you thought filing your taxes was already complicated enough, think again. The IRS has just issued a warning to taxpayers who have received state-issued inflation payments or tax rebates in 2022 to hold off on filing their 2023 tax returns until further guidance is issued. But the plot thickens. It's not yet clear which specific states require more guidance, leaving taxpayers in limbo. According to the Urban Brookings Tax Policy Center, at least 18 states including Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Maine, Massachusetts, New Mexico, New York, Oregon, Rhode Island, South Carolina, and Virginia have distributed one-time refunds in 2022 in response to rising inflation, which has hit a 40-year high. What's even more concerning is that most of those states are still waiting to confirm whether the rebates will incur federal taxes, creating a rather murky and uncertain situation for taxpayers. And if you've already filed your 2022 tax return, the IRS is advising against filing an amendment until further guidance is provided. As Richard Auxier, a Tax Policy Center Senior Policy Associate, points out, it's vital for taxpayers to stay informed and up-to-date on the latest developments to avoid any potential issues and problems down the line. The intricacies of state-level stimulus checks and rebates are not only causing a headache for taxpayers, but also for the IRS, as they scramble to determine which of the various payments are federally taxable. Federal taxation will depend on a range of factors, such as the stated purpose of each rebate and federal law. With dozens of different state relief programs in place, each running differently and subject to varying rules, regulations, and legal stipulations, it's no wonder that taxpayers are left with a sense of confusion and unease. Take California for instance. The state's Franchise Tax Board has confirmed that a special middle-class tax refund designed to combat the rising inflation will not be taxed by the state. But this is hardly a guarantee, as there's a chance the funds could still be taxed federally. As taxpayers wait in limbo for the IRS to finalize their guidance on state-issued inflation payments, they're left to wonder whether they will be hit with a surprise federal tax bill on their much-needed relief payments. Moreover, taxpayers in New Mexico who were eligible for 2022 refundable income tax credits and refunds intended to offset growing prices have been left in a state of confusion and uncertainty. In an unexpected turn of events, the state's Taxation and Revenue Department website has revealed that state taxes on these rebates will not be charged, but ominously warns that the department cannot comment on any federal tax consequences of the rebates and relief payments. As a result, taxpayers are left in the dark, unsure what the potential federal tax implications of these rebates and relief payments could be. With such uncertainty looming, tax filers who have qualified for these relief checks or tax rebates are advised to exercise caution and consider waiting until more guidance is available from the IRS before filing their taxes, if they haven't already done so. This development has left taxpayers across New Mexico feeling anxious and uncertain about their financial future, unsure what consequences may await them come tax season. Waiting will also give the IRS enough time to provide clear and comprehensive guidance on how to handle these payments, ensuring that everyone can file their taxes with confidence. This is not only important for taxpayers, but also for their tax preparers, who need to ensure that they're providing the right guidance to their clients. In light of the uncertainty surrounding the tax implications of state-level relief payments and tax rebates, it is highly recommended that taxpayers exercise patience and wait for further guidance from the IRS before filing their taxes. By waiting for additional clarification, taxpayers can avoid potential issues and errors that could arise from an incomplete or inaccurate understanding of how to handle these payments. So, taking the time to wait for the IRS to provide clear and comprehensive guidance on the proper handling of these payments can help taxpayers file their taxes with confidence, knowing that they are doing so accurately and in compliance with federal tax laws. This will help taxpayers avoid any potential audits or penalties that could result from incorrect filings. In addition to ensuring compliance and accuracy, waiting for further clarification from the IRS can also provide taxpayers with a better understanding of their tax situation and any potential tax benefits they may be entitled to. This will allow taxpayers to make informed decisions about their finances and maximize their tax savings. Waiting for further guidance from the IRS on state-level relief payments and tax rebates is a prudent decision that can help taxpayers avoid potential issues and errors, file their taxes with confidence, and ensure accuracy and compliance with federal tax laws. However, it is important to note that the previously mentioned information is intended to be informative in nature and is not intended to be financial advice. It is highly recommended that taxpayers consult with a qualified financial advisor or tax professional before making any decisions regarding their finances or tax filings. Well, that brings us to the end of the video. As we wait for further clarification, the question remains, will the IRS ultimately end up putting a hefty price tag on these state-level rebates and stimulus checks? Only time will tell, and it's certainly something to keep an eye on as tax season approaches. What do you think? Do you think these state-level stimulus checks and rebates should be federally taxable? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates on the latest financial news. Thank you for watching.